let's look at one more kind of implementation scenario. Let's say we want a sound to be placed sort of in the world. We first need to create a meta sound with a sound that's long enough so that it doesn't stop. Your sound kind of works as an actor as well, so you should be able to just drag it into the scene and hit play. You'll notice like running around and stuff, it's not really going to influence your sound at all. It's just going to play at a constant volume, which is generally not what we want, right? We can look at how we can connect it to maybe a game object or something. Let's say a box that kind of emits a sound. Go to the place actors thing on the side here, to geometry, which is the third to last option. Just find...
Mine's not there.
Go to window then, and then place actors.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then you can just drag and drop this out. I'm going to scale it down a little bit. In the outliner, you can change its name by like right-clicking it, go to edit and rename, or you can hit F2 while it's selected. I'm just going to call it sound box or something. In order to affect how this box plays a sound, it needs to have an audio component. An audio component is basically, if you're familiar with Unity, is kind of the same thing. What it does is it provides you with some options for like how this sound is going to be played. If you have your sound box selected, there's this menu down here, which contains all the components or like all the functionalities for your object. Click this add button, search for audio, and you'll find an audio. Why does it specify my sound? I didn't think it would do that. Okay, it doesn't really matter.
I think it's because you have it
selected.
Clicked and
selected. Yeah, good call. Click audio and you have an audio component. Cool, and we need to connect it to a sound down here. You could connect it to your sound as is, but if we want MetaSound functionality for it, we need to create a MetaSound for it first. Go back to MetaSounds, right click, go to audio, and then MetaSound source. And we're going to do basically the exact same thing as we did earlier. Right click and write wave. You're going to find wave player mono. Connect that to your sounds. Hook it all up. This time we don't want it to finish. This on finish thing, it's called an interface. So an interface is kind of this object, like this meta sound. We say that it's implementing an interface, and if this meta sound is implementing the one-shot interface over here, then it needs to have this on-finish thing. So in order to get rid of this, because we don't want this to stop once it's finished, which is what it will do if you hook this up. So we just want to remove it, because this is a sound that's going to continuously play. Just delete this this interface, this one-shot. If you want it back, you can add it by like looking through this list. If you hit play, you should be hearing your sound. Go back to Unreal, and click your sound box. Make sure the audio component is selected, and then you can hook it up to your meta sound. And the only reason to use the meta sound instead of just referencing the audio file directly is so that you can have the extra functionality that MetaSound comes with. You don't necessarily have to implement with MetaSound. You could just use the audio component as is. You can start the game again. If it still plays, then you're good. To like add a distance attenuation and stuff, click the audio component and then browse down until you find attenuation. Click override attenuation. Attenuation by default is just not attenuating. And you can see this in the viewport, that this like yellow sphere, and it will tell you like how far away you'll be able to hear the sound. If you go back to the attenuation settings, you can adjust the inner radius, which is like where does it start to attenuate, and then fall off distance, which is like where does it stop attenuating. The listener is by default on the camera in Unreal. So like if you move the camera closer to the listener, you're going to be hearing the sound.
That's why it was acting weird for me.
Yeah. It can be changed, so you don't have to have it that way.